All right, Jeff, it's a very controversial win tonight. What do you think of Lamont Roach versus Tank Davis?
I think that it was a great fight, really on both sides, but I thought that the wrong man won tonight.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of Tank's, but tonight he didn't win that fight.
Really?
And plus, he should have been penalized when he took a knee after get punched, and the referee didn't call him.
Do you think that's what cost Lamont to not win because they didn't call the knee as a knockdown?
I don't think so. I thought that he just won more rounds than
Right.
Tank. I think Tank has that same approach that he normally does, that where he sits back and he just waits and he thinks, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, he figured out that person and he knocks him out.
Right.
But this time, all that, I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
Right.
And without that happening,
y'all explain to me how the hell that wasn't a knockdown. That was a knockdown, period. He took a knee for the break. That's a knockdown. You can't pump fake a knockdown. Everybody would be pump faking knockdowns. Y'all gonna be like, Tank was smart for that. You can't take a knee, pump fake a knockdown, and then walk to your corner in the middle of the round and scream for a towel, and they wipe you down, and there's gonna be y'all saying some disgusting shit. Y'all gonna be like, yeah, Tank can do what he wants, because Tank, yo, hey, listen, we ain't got that kind of time, dog. You can't do that, bro. If any part of your body other than your feet touch the canvas following a landed shot, is a knockdown. Who is fixing the fights now? Oh, shit.
If Devin your God, y'all gotta pay me now. I gotta get the knockout. If not, y'all gonna give it to him.
Who is fixing the fights now?
Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on the fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., calling it a robbery. Meanwhile, Jeff Mayweather believes the draw between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach as potentially the worst decision in boxing history. He believes that Roach threw more punches than Tank. Tank usually likes to take his time and watch his opponent before he starts fighting hard. But Roach was quick and kept hitting back at Tank.
it was a good fight on both sides, and I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he outworked Tank. Thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him like he always do, and then go to work. But this time when he went to work, the guy went to work back. So, I mean, he had somebody that was firing back at him. It's the same way.
Mayweather believes the 9th round was a blatant robbery. He feels that when Tank got hit and then went down on one knee, it should have been counted as a knockdown, but the referee didn't call it that way. Mayweather believes this was a mistake and that it changed the outcome of the fight.
I have never in my life seen a fighter voluntarily take a knee after a punch, devastating or not. He took a punch, it landed, and he took a knee, and it not be called a knockdown. What are your thoughts on that?
No, that's true. That definitely should have been called a knockdown.
Yeah, and I
didn't understand that.
Mayweather disagrees with Tank blaming his hair for the incident and believes a point should have been taken by the referee. He also criticized the referee for not taking a point from Tank, suggesting that the referee should have enforced the rules regardless of the fighter's explanation.
I think that at that point, a point should have been taken, because you can't determine what happens when something like that happens in the fight. It's the referee's, it's to his jurisdiction, and the referee should have actually took a point from him.
Moving on, Terrence Crawford also criticized the decision, particularly the failure to count Davis's kneeling in the 9th round as a knockdown. He first wrote, "Roach won, and that should have been called a knockdown. Let's see what happens." When the verdict was announced, he continued, "They robbed that boy, and it's crazy." He said that he has never seen someone kneel down during a fight and not have it counted as a fall. He thinks the person in charge must have forgotten the rules for that night. Crawford further added, "I never seen someone take a knee, and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules for tonight." Meanwhile, Jake Paul also believes that Lamont Roach fought really well against Gervonta Davis, and he thinks Roach should have won the fight instead of it being a tie. He feels that Davis got lucky because the judges decided it was a draw. Jake also thought the fight wasn't as exciting as he hoped it would be. He expected to see more action, but instead, he saw Roach being very smart and careful, which made it hard for Davis to do well.
Man, he got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight, though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Ryan Garcia and Claressa Shields have reacted to the controversial moment during Davis versus Roach, with both agreeing that the referee made a terrible mistake. Throughout the match, Tank kept looking at the referee, trying to get help for his burning eyes. Claressa Shields noticed this supposed action in the 4th round, when Tank looked away, causing Roach to take advantage of it and hit him with a strong punch. She pointed out that the Tank looked at the referee instead of paying attention to his opponent, which is a big mistake in boxing. She wrote on X, "I can't believe Tank looked at the ref and got hit. Rule number 1, never take your eye off your opponent. But boy, is he pissed 5th round, he about to come out aggressive." On the other hand, Ryan Garcia publicly criticized the New York Commission after the controversial no knockdown ruling in the 9th round of the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight. Garcia's frustration stemmed from the fact that Davis, after seemingly taking a knee, was allowed to continue with the fight without a knockdown being officially called. What I'm wondering is if the commission only makes changes when you complain and cry like Haney, or they actually care about the integrity of the sport. Nothing against Tank, but since the commission switches my victory, they should switch this victory for Roach. They won't though, BC, they were out to get me from the beginning. He further added, "I ain't no hater either. I like Tank. I think he's a great fighter. He had an off night and Lamont fought great. Simple. But I'm tired of the inconsistency in boxing. It's fucking weird. I had the ref save Haney from getting stopped. Never called Haney for holding on for dear life. And took a point away from me with no warning. And then this made-up story of me having Osterine came up. It's just bullshit." Joe Rogan recently shared his thoughts on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. fight. In an Instagram post, Rogan admitted that he hadn't seen Lamont Roach Jr. fight before this matchup, but was quickly won over by his performance. Even though the fight ended in a majority draw, Rogan still thought it was a thrilling event, and he made it clear that he'd love to see these two fighters go head-to-head again in a rematch. Rogan wrote, "Watching the replay of the outstanding title fight last night between Gervonta and Roach. I had never seen Lamont fight before, but I'm a big fan now. Fight was a draw, but it was an amazing contest, and I really hope they run it back." Lamont Roach's manager, Robert Diaz, was furious about the referee's decision to stop the count after Gervonta Davis took a knee in the 9th round after getting hit with a jab. Diaz says that Gervonta's decision to take a knee, turn his back, and walk to his corner immediately after should have been ruled a knockdown and disqualification.
Well, I got really upset when I saw the count started and then it stops. I ran over to the commission and said, "What are we calling it? What are we calling it?" And of course, you can't be behind the table. You can't get close to the commission, so that you can't be here. I'm like, okay, but I just want to know what you're calling it. Everybody saw it was a knockdown. Now, you don't want to give him a knockdown? You turn your back. That's a disqualification. You don't want to give him the disqualification? The cornerman's in the corner. They tell you nobody can come in. So there's 2 disqualifications and a knockdown. He gets the knockdown, he gets the win.
Diaz argued that the referee, Steve Willis, not only failed to call the knockdown but also stopped the count, which he felt significantly impacted the fight's result and potentially cost Roach a victory and a title. He emphasized that the referee's decisions during that moment were pivotal, suggesting that if the knockdown had been called, Roach would have won. He expressed frustration with the lack of clear communication from the commission and promised to follow up on the matter.
I'm going to give it till Monday. Obviously, temperature. I think I won't. I'll never say it's done intentionally. I mean, everybody goes in there. These things happen on a minute. The judges or the refs have a very difficult job because they don't get to see the replay. But when you started counting, and trust me, he's one of the best referees in boxing, starts counting. How do you stop your count? So we'll give it till Monday. I'm gonna make the call. I'm gonna talk to people and say, okay, what happened here? What happened here?
Diaz pushes for a rematch between Lamont Roach Jr. and Tank Davis, believing it is necessary due to the controversy surrounding the decision. He believes that the fans want the rematch, and Lamont's performance in the fight has earned him the respect to challenge Tank again.
So, look, at the end of the day, I don't see them reversing a decision, but I do see them saying, all right, let's do a rematch, because that's what needs to be done. a rematch.
Is that something you push with the WBA and you say that you want them to order the rematch?
Again, I'll make the calls that let's all sit down and review this video and see you guys will see what I saw, what everybody else saw. I've received so many texts, so many messages, and that's great because the people, at the end of the day, the people saw who won.
The fight itself was pretty close, with the official scorecards resulting in a majority draw. One judge scored it 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis, while the other two judges scored it 114 to 114, reflecting how evenly matched both fighters were throughout the bout. However, if he somehow does not get it, Shakur Stevenson has an enticing alternative for him. Stevenson has offered his verdict on the result on social media, stating that it went how he expected it to. He stated, "My ticket hit tonight for the people that don't know esh about boxing, and the fight went exactly how I thought it was gonna go." Stevenson also revealed that he wouldn't be criticizing Tank for his performance, despite Davis poking fun at Shakur's victory over Josh Padley last week. He wrote, "Ian even gone shit on dude like he would do me, but I'm still ready and willing to fight, let's make it happen." Stevenson got the front seat to the action and was rather impressed by the performance put down by Lamont Roach Jr. It is possible that the Newark native was there to scout Gervonta Davis for the rumored unified lightweight title clash. However, after watching the bout, his mind might have been changed. Stevenson was quite pleased to grant this opportunity to his compatriot and wrote, "That's my bro, but we def can make something happen good song." After the fight between Roach and Davis, Shakur Stevenson went on social media and said that if Lamont Roach can't get another chance to fight, he has a big fight planned for him. He even offered Lamont a chance to fight for a world title against him. He wrote, "And if Lamont can't get a rematch, I got a big fight for him and a world title shot against me." During the post-match press conference, a reporter mentioned Shakur Stevenson's tweet to Roach. Evidently, the challenge put a smile on the Washington native's face as he exclaimed, "That's why I love him. Nah, genuine speaking, that's what I want to do. I want to fight the best fights." Roach also said he might be ready to move up to a heavier weight class, 135 pounds, and he wants to fight the best boxers. He mentioned that he hopes to have a rematch with Gervonta Davis, but if that doesn't happen, he is excited about the idea of fighting Shakur Stevenson instead. He declared, "We can more than likely we can in with Shakur, because we already talked, and it's all about showing who's the best. It's all about good competition, and that's what I am trying to prove, that I am the best." Furthermore, Keyshawn Davis didn't hold back. After the controversial draw between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, Keyshawn stated that he believed Lamont was the clear winner, despite the official decision being a majority draw. He remarked, "Paulie Malignaggi firmly believed that Lamont Roach emerged as the true victor of the night." He commended Roach for his exceptional technical skills, emphasizing that his solid fundamentals were far more impressive than any flashy maneuvers. Malignaggi noted that Roach demonstrated remarkable composure and resilience throughout the match, effectively standing his ground against Gervonta Davis and even managing to push him back at certain points.
But I think Lamont Roach wins the night. I think his performance wins the night. Here's the thing, though. Lamont Roach was always a solid fighter, solid fundamental, and I'm going to reiterate what I said before. Solid fundamental fighter. Nothing that wows you, though. No crazy speed, no crazy power. Just a solid fundamental fighter who's been well-schooled, well-taught, and well-balanced. And that's who he was tonight. His sense of positioning allowed him to catch and shoot in some spots. He had a mentally strong game plan in terms of he was trying to hold ground a lot and sort of back up Gervonta Davis.
However, Malignaggi's critique of Davis extended beyond the fight itself. He took a sharp aim at Davis's overall career trajectory, labeling his legacy as manufactured. Malignaggi argued that Davis has consistently chosen to fight opponents who do not pose a significant challenge, particularly criticizing his decision to face Roach, who had recently moved up from the 130-pound division. He pointed out that despite Davis headlining multiple pay-per-view events, he has never faced a fighter who is widely regarded as a future Hall of Famer. This lack of high-caliber opponents raises questions about the legitimacy of Davis's accomplishments in the ring.
I don't know, man. I can't keep reiterating how disappointing Gervonta Davis has been as far as the resume is concerned. If this is about as manufactured a star as you can make, and anybody who is going to defend that is really got to get their groupie lenses checked, because I've never seen a guy with this many pay-per-view headliners have not a single Hall of Famer on his resume. Not a single win on Gervonta Davis's resume will make you look at it like, wow,
Jim Lampley noted that Tank Davis initially followed his typical strategy, aiming to set up for a knockout. This was the expected approach given his reputation as a powerful offensive fighter. As the fight progressed, Lamont Roach surprised many by becoming stronger. He effectively absorbed Tank's punches without facing serious trouble, which was unexpected for both the audience and Davis. Moving up to 135 pounds did not seem to affect Roach negatively, which added to the tension of the match. Lampley highlighted that this was likely unsettling for Tank, who may not have anticipated Roach's resilience.
You know, in the early rounds, it looked as though Tank was doing what he does and setting up a possible knockout or a probable knockout, which was what most people expected to see. And then over the course of the next several rounds, you saw that maybe the opponent, Lamont Roach, actually got stronger moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting for Tank.
Lampley echoed this sentiment, suggesting that a rematch would be beneficial for both fighters to settle the score and further establish their standings in the division. He also mentioned the potential for Davis to face other top contenders, such as Shakur Stevenson, depending on how he chooses to navigate the aftermath of this fight.
He got a little desperate in the late rounds and began throwing much more than is normally the case. It created action, it created excitement, there was tension in the audience. It was a memorable fight, and I want to see a rematch as rapidly as a rematch can be made.
ShowBizz the Adult, a well-known boxing commentator and social media personality, has expressed his views on the recent controversial draw between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. ShowBizz highlighted the pivotal moment in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, which many believe should have been ruled a knockdown. The referee did not count it as such, leading to widespread criticism of the officiating.
Y'all explain to me how the hell that wasn't a knockdown. That was a knockdown, period. He took a knee for the break. That's a knockdown. You can't pump fake a knockdown. Everybody would be pump faking knockdowns. Y'all gonna be like, Tank was smart for that. You can't take a knee, pump fake a knockdown, and then walk to your corner in the middle of the round and scream for a towel, and they wipe you down, and there's gonna be y'all saying some disgusting shit. Y'all gonna be like, yeah, Tank can do what he wants, because Tank, yo, hey, listen, we ain't got that kind of time, dog. You can't do that, bro. If any part of your body other than your feet touch the canvas following a landed shot, is a knockdown.
Following the fight, both Davis and Roach expressed a desire for a rematch, a sentiment echoed by ShowBizz. He argued that a rematch would be necessary to settle the score definitively, given the contentious nature of the draw.
It was a good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, you know, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I can get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Despite the fight ending in a draw, Tank Davis insisted that he had won, citing that he finished stronger in the later rounds. He felt that the judge's decision was unfair and attributed the outcome to an incident where he took a knee during the fight. Tank Davis also shared his frustrations on social media. In a tweet, Tank expressed his frustration, suggesting that the knee incident unfairly influenced the decision. He explained that although he took a knee, he had landed more punches throughout the fight, and the knee wasn't due to a punch from Roach, but because his eyes were irritated by hair grease. In a tweet, he wrote, "They took the fight from me and made it a draw because I did that bullshit knee. But I landed the most punches in the fight. He didn't even hit me with a punch when I took the knee. I get it though. I shouldn't have done that, but that hair grease was burning my eyes." Similarly, Tank's trainer, Calvin Ford, gave an unusual explanation for the knee incident. Ford claimed that Tank became confused about the rounds and mistakenly thought there was more time left. This mental lapse led to him taking a knee at an inopportune moment, which played a role in the controversial result.
We looked at 3 rounds. Brian was calling out, yo, I need 3. We got 1. I need 2. He got the 2. But he forgot where he was at. He thought he was still in the 8th round. He thought he still had rounds to go.
Even Tank himself admitted he lost focus during the fight. He acknowledged that he struggled to keep track of the rounds and should have done more. Despite these issues, Tank remained confident in his skills and was open to facing his opponent, Roach, again in a rematch.
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Furthermore, Tank praised Lamont Roach and said that his fight only went the distance because it was Roach in the ring. He revealed, "No, to be honest, I really made it competitive. For real. To be honest. But for sure, Lamont is a great fighter. He's got the skills, he's got punching power. It was a learned lesson. Shout out to Lamont Roach and his whole team, man. Hopefully we can run it back." Tank Davis commented that Roach caught him with a few very good shots, but he was super slow as well. He stated that by the time he realized he could use Roach's slow speed to his advantage, he had already lost all his energy by throwing too many punches.
He caught me with a good shot, but it was times that I sat in there with him and I'm like, damn, this guy like super slow. Well, not super slow, but he's slow, and I could have took advantage of the moments. But I think I was boxing too much in the beginning, and when I felt like he was slow, it was just already late down the line.
Later on, Davis revealed that he has changed his mind about retiring, given his poor performance against Roach. He said that he has a lot more fights left in him, and he will be going back to the drawing board to change his strategy.
For your future?
Yeah, it definitely changed my plans. It definitely changed my plans. I probably got like 4 more fights now.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. We're happy.
As the conversation around the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight continues, more details are emerging about what happened in the ring. While Davis has taken responsibility for not finishing the fight, his trainer, Barry Hunter, has revealed an unexpected issue that may have affected his performance. During the fight, Davis was seen turning away and taking a knee, something that surprised both fans and commentators. Many wondered if it was due to exhaustion or an injury, but Hunter has now explained that it was something entirely different. According to him, a chemical from Davis's hair, possibly from the braiding process, mixed with sweat and ran into his eyes, causing intense burning. This unexpected situation threw everyone off guard, including Davis himself. While it didn't take away from Roach's strong performance, it was a factor that disrupted Davis in the middle of a crucial fight.
You know, I can't speak to that, but because I don't have hair. But apparently, you know, he had his hair braided, and they put some kind of chemical. I don't know if it's some whole juice. I don't know what y'all call it. But with the sweat and the heat and all, it ran down into his eyes. And when he came, he turned around, he took a knee, and he was complaining about his eyes burning. And when Calvin wiped his eyes, it was still burning. So that's what happened in that situation. That caught all of us off guard. In the amateurs, you can get away with that.
Hunter's explanation adds another layer to the fight, showing that Davis was dealing with more than just Roach's pressure. While Davis never used this as an excuse, it's clear that the burning sensation in his eyes played a role in how he reacted at that moment. In boxing, even the smallest distractions can make a difference, and this unexpected issue came at a crucial time in the fight. However, Hunter doesn't take anything away from Roach's performance. He simply highlights that Davis had to overcome more than just an opponent in the ring. Now, with the rematch talks growing, Davis will be looking to make sure that nothing, not even an outside factor like this, stops him from delivering his best performance. Throughout the fight, there were moments where Davis seemed hesitant, not pushing the pace like he usually does. While he showed flashes of his power and skill, something was missing in his usual aggressive style. Hunter admits that they struggled to understand why Davis wasn't fully picking up the intensity at key moments. In a fight this close, those small lapses made all the difference. While Davis still had strong rounds, Hunter believes that slight hesitation played a role in why the judges saw the fight as a draw. Now, their focus is on correcting that mistake and making sure it doesn't happen again. He stated, "He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up, right? And so I think it was maybe a lack of focus just for a little bit, and we'll fix that. But nevertheless, I think that, made that fight a draw." Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.